Welcome to episode 51 of Paris Playbook. Today I'm joined by Avery Hobson of the Division One women's softball team at the University of Washington Huskies. Avery, thanks for joining me. How are you on this Tuesday evening?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Doing
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I'm glad to hear it. You're the second softball player on the podcast, and the first one was like episode 3 or something like that. So it's been a while since there's been a softball player on the podcast. But growing up, it looks like you played softball, basketball, and track. Was softball always number one, or did you have to make a choice to devote your time and focus on softball at one point in your kind of youth sports career?
Yeah, growing up, I always played softball and basketball. And then in the winter I'd play basketball for like my rec league in town, and then I played travel ball for softball. And then once it got time where people started playing AAU basketball, I like kind of had to make a choice like do I want to keep going basketball? I really want to focus on softball. So I like softball way more. So I just only did basketball in high school and then just played softball all year round. And then track was just a thing I did for fun in middle school and high school.
So it was a pretty easy decision, the basketball, softball, to just focus on softball.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your recruiting a little bit. And initially going with Oklahoma State. I mean, did you have a easy recruiting process? Was it stressful? Was it like an easy choice right off the bat? You were, you know, overall. I know some people have stressful recruiting, periods. Other people, it's pretty easy and goes pretty smoothly.
Softball's a little different. So when I was younger, you could commit at any time. So we had like seventh graders committing to Florida. And so like growing up, it's a little stressful. Like you're in eighth grade thinking like, oh gosh, I'm not committed to OU. I'm not going anywhere. So growing up, it was a little stressful. And then sophomore year, we got a rule change. So you couldn't talk to any coaches or commit until September 1st of junior year. So before that, I was really stressed out. I had been on one or two visits prior to the rule change. And I was like freaked out trying to commit for the rule change. I'm happy I didn't. I'm happy that I stayed on the path. But then after my junior year, September 1st hit, it was smooth sailing. I knew I wanted to be committed before the summer went into my senior year. And I went to Oklahoma State. I visited it a couple times and I was like, yeah, this is it. Like it's pretty simple. So all in all, it was like a pretty simple recruiting trail, like visit. It was pretty nice, easy compared to some other people's.
That amazes me, that rule that like people could commit when they were in like seventh grade. Because I mean, when you're in seventh grade, you have no idea. Most people don't even know if they want to go to college, let alone where they're going to go to college. I mean, your kids' minds change so much from seventh grade to junior years. It's just crazy that rule was ever a thing, and people were picking their colleges then, and that schools were recruiting kids. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of development from seventh grade to junior year. How do you really know if that person's going to be good in college? Just
Yeah. I feel like that people realize that pretty quickly, so that's why the rule kind of changed. But
yeah, they're making big decisions on both sides, coaches and players that are years and years too far,
mhm.
too soon, I should say.
Yeah. Even when I'm a junior, you still don't know what you quite want out of life. So
Yeah, exactly. Right. There's like so much. You don't have to make up your mind right away, and people go into college undecided with their major. They don't know right away, and like you said, it doesn't really matter how old you are. You can still not really know. So a middle schooler definitely doesn't know what they want.
yeah.
So, like you mentioned, you picked Oklahoma State, and when you were there, you played in 84 games. You had 19 starts, and you guys went to the College World Series both years, which obviously that's the goal in college softball is to make it to that. It's one of the biggest stages across college athletics. I mean, it's the real deal, obviously. You also had a home run, which is always exciting. Do you remember that game and that home run pretty vividly, or is it just like, yeah, it happened and whatever, I didn't really care?
No, I remember. I'm a slapper, and so in the softball world, it's like we bunt and we don't really hit for power. We don't hit a lot of home runs. And so I had never hit a home run. And it was like a preseason tournament. I'm pretty sure it was either preseason or just like a midweek game. And it was against my hometown college. So it was against the University of Missouri, Kansas City. And so UMKC, that coach recruited me. And so it was kind of cool, like, had to start that game. And then my first like ever home run was against them. So it's kind of cool. I played that team has a lot of girls I grew up playing with and like playing again. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, I remember that pretty vividly because it's my first and only home run so far of my career.
Hey, you got one. That's all
Yeah.
you need. You can say you hit one, you
Yes. Thank the Lord.
know.
Yes.
So talk about the World Series, the college, women's college World Series. Obviously, it's the big event that everyone wants to get to, and you got there your first year, and then your second year while at Oklahoma State. I mean, it's got to be a pretty exciting event. There's it's such a big stage too. I mean, everyone who cares about softball is paying attention, and people who like college athletics are really focusing because it's such a big event. So what was it like to take part in that for the first time, especially?
It was pretty crazy, especially like growing up against softball. Like college is all we really get. So it's like that's our big stage. So it's so exciting to like kind of bring it to reality. Oklahoma State had made the World Series a year prior before COVID. So they went to 2019. So it was their goal once we came back in 2020, like after COVID, to like make it again and do it again. And that team was basically the same team from that 2019 team. So it's nice to have like a solid base and get to grow with those girls. And it was crazy. I remember I started all 9 games of postseason that we played my freshman year. And so I started at the World Series and I was freaking out. I remember I threw up before a game against Florida State. I think I barfed in the trash can. And I was like, oh gosh, this is like game 3. And I'm still like a little nervous. But it's just crazy because you're walking down the foul line before the game and you see all these little girls handing their balls out, like trying to get you to sign them, giving high fives, and you just look up and the crowd is to the very top, filling the whole stadium. So it's crazy. You'll never play in front of like that many people for softball, and it was just an amazing experience, especially to feel as a freshman and starting. It was wild.
And then the second time, was it still as exciting, but you were less nervous, or was it kind of more like, I've been here, so this is less cool?
The second year was like a year in its own. So I feel like once we got to that point, I was like, all right, like we're here. Like this is kind of the end of the season. And it was like, it's really cool to be here. I don't think I appreciated it as much as I should have in the time. But I was like, wow, it is really cool to think back and be like, I have went 3 years in a row and I went 2 years in a row, like with them. And that was really cool. I didn't play much my sophomore year, but it was like, I just didn't appreciate it as much, but it was still a really cool experience.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it is throughout life. There's a lot of things we look back at and we're like, well, I wish I would have appreciated more in the moment, or I wish I would have focused on it more in the moment. I mean, there's so many times where you kind of like rush through things in life, or like you said, you don't appreciate them. And then you look back and you never get that opportunity
Mhm.
again to appreciate that. So you mentioned that you didn't play as much your sophomore year. Did that go into the decision to enter the transfer portal then?
Yes and no. I was hurt a good amount of my sophomore year, coming off freshman year. I was battling an injury, so I didn't really do anything in the fall. So I was kind of already like kind of late, like behind everybody. So I came back sophomore year, didn't really play, didn't have the greatest relationship with my coaches, and so that was also very hard, just like mentally and just like mentally and physically. I was still trying to catch up and then grind it out, like get through school, just get through everything. So I just think that once the season ended, I didn't really care about the playing time because I loved my friends and I really it was like really hard to make the decision to transfer, but it was like I needed a new start. I was too deep in the mental game to kind of get out of it. So honestly, it was more of like the mental side than the actual softball side that got me to transfer.
Yeah, just needed a fresh beginning. And like that's the nice thing about the transfer portal. A lot of people have mixed feelings about it,
Mhm.
and it's nice opportunity for athletes who feel like that's what they need to both be successful on the field, the court, or in the classroom. I mean, if you're weighed down mentally, it's going to affect you in all aspects of your life. So to get that fresh start is an awesome opportunity. So the transfer portal also, I mean, obviously similar to recruiting, people have different experiences. Some people enter the portal and they've got instant, like, coaches want them, like, hey, come to our school. Other people are in the portal for a long time and it's super stressful because now they don't have anywhere to go. Was yours, kind of there, one or the other, in the middle? You had a lot of attention right away. Was it more stressful, less stressful than recruiting?
I would say it was way less stressful and a little bit more fun. I was kind of like excited because once you're like out of during high school, it's like, okay, only like these schools need people for your class. So it's like only these people are looking at you. But once you hit the portal, it's like all of these schools, because now the portal's so big, it's like all their eyes are in the portal all the time. So you're getting I remember the first day, as soon as I entered the portal, Washington was the first people to like call me and text me, so that was really cool. But I had like probably 20 emails at the end of that day, and I was like, "Wow, this is kind of nice to feel like wanted and like see all these people flooding in." So it was pretty easy. I only went on 2 visits here in Arizona State, so it was honestly a pretty easy decision and a pretty easy flow. But it is scary going in the transfer portal because you don't know if you'll be stuck there or you'll get out. And I was really unsure because I didn't play my sophomore year a lot, but I played my freshman year a lot. So I was
Yeah.
unsure.
So you had that. I mean, and that might mean more to a lot of coaches. Hey, she played a lot as a freshman, which not everyone can say. And then they'll look at the fact that you were injured and other things, and then they're gonna hope, hey, let's hope she can bring kind of what she brought to the table as a freshman now. And obviously it worked out because you're at Washington. This
Mm.
is your second season there. Last season, World Series again. You switched schools and you went back. Was that important to you, to pick a school that, you thought you could have success at there? Or were you more looking at, I just want to fit in and be happy? What were your kind of decisions in picking Washington?
Yeah, I just wanted to pick somewhere and be happy. Um I'm not the type of person that softball is my life. I've kind of grown out of that. I think very young I was like, softball's my life. I want to go to the World Series. I want to do all of this, but I've just like learned through the years that even if you're a good team and you're not happy, it's not really worth it. So I wanted to come somewhere where I loved it and I would like feel like I had fun. My childhood friend plays softball up here, so I was like, that's even better for me. Like it'll be easier for me to get along with the girls and it'll be like just overall like a better experience. So I don't say I didn't care about the World Series or like being as good, but that's still important. But I cared more about the overall aspect and like personalities and who they were than how good they were at
Yeah.
that point at that point in my life. Now it's kind of like, okay, I want to be good, but back then I was like, I'm not as worried about going far. I just want a good experience to finish out my career.
So do you want to, is that a big goal for you to make it to the World Series this year? Go 4 for 4?
Yeah, it would be cool to go 4 for 4 for sure. That would be cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's for
That'd
sure a
be
goal of ours.
that'd be something to look back on your whole life. Be like, I went 4 for 4, 2 different schools, didn't matter. We made it. Even 3 for 4 that's still really
Yeah.
impressive and cool. But hopefully you guys can make it back there. I wanted to talk about fall season a little bit. I know it's different softball than other sports. I mean, in football, right? They got training camp in the summer, they start their season, and in the spring, they've kind of got their spring practices, and a lot of teams do a spring game. You guys obviously start your season in the winter. Teams are playing down south at a lot of tournaments and stuff, but you've got this fall season where it seems most schools play more, are they kind of like exhibition type games against smaller colleges? Is it just kind of like get the rust off and you know make sure everybody's playing more, so it's not we end in the spring and we don't play again till the winter? It's just kind of have a little bit of, I guess maybe the equivalent to like the football spring game. You guys have it in the fall as your just like I said, kick the rust off? Is that kind of the point?
Yeah, I think it's also because we just get so many freshmen and new people and transfers that it's like, okay, let's like play a few games, see where people should go, see where they shouldn't go. Like let's test the lineup and yeah, just like to knock the rust off of the like people that are coming back and just see how the team flows together and if we need to add anything or take away things. So it's really just to give us a good idea of what spring will look like and where people will play and then that's where we practice from then on. So yeah, kinda like get the rust off, figure it out.
Would you say it's more fun because it's less stressful? Like for, someone in your position, you've been around the game for a while. You're not a freshman coming in trying to earn a position. Would you say it's like you can have a little more fun with it because you're not playing like, real regular season games?
Yeah, I would for sure say I can for sure have more fun with it. It is, like, frustrating because like, sometimes we don't play, like, the greatest teams or, like, the teams you play in season, so, like, if you don't do good, you're so mad. I'm like, "Dang, like, I really shoulda went 4 for 4 today, but instead I went 0 for 4," like, so it can be a little bit frustrating, but again, like, these aren't the teams we usually play in season, so I don't try to, like, critique myself so hard, but yeah, I tend to just have more fun with them. They're fun, and they mean stuff, but at the same time, like, it's just a practice that's a little bit more serious.
Right, like a bunch of scrimmages, kind of.
Yeah.
So obviously, we mentioned the fact that you'd like to get back to the World Series, and looking at this season, looking at this team, and what you bring back from last year, and what's the feeling around the team? Looking ahead at this season.
Yeah. This team is a lot different from last season. So last year we had an older team. We had a lot of fifth years and just like overall seniors. So it's a lot of experience. This year we're pretty young and I would say a little bit inexperienced. We have like 1 years and then we have a good amount of freshmen and then a lot of transfers. We only returned about 6 or 7 players, and so that brings, like, 10 new ones, so we're pretty new and inexperienced, but so far we haven't really missed a beat from where we were last year. We picked up the same girls that we needed to replace what we lost, so it's looking pretty good. We just have to figure out how to vibe as a team again. We're all new, so like we have to figure that out. That's what the fall games were for, but we're looking pretty good. So I'm excited to come back and really start playing.
Yeah. Do you have a countdown to the start of the season?
I don't. I try not to think about it, but I think our first game is like February 18th, I think. So first game in Mexico. So we'll see.
Oh wow, that'll be exciting. So
Yeah.
let's talk about non-softball stuff for a little bit, like Washington football. Having a great year. Have you gone to any of the games?
Gosh. Yes, I am I'm a massive football fan, sports fan in general. So I love college football. And coming from Oklahoma State, which my like freshman and sophomore year, we were pretty good. Like freshman year, we were like close to like maybe being top 5, maybe being top 4, and then coming here, everyone's like football team's not that good. Don't worry. Like they're just not games aren't fun. They're not good. Last year they turned around and were like 9-2 or something, and then this year they're 10-0, and it's so crazy. I go to all the home games. Oregon was insane. We stormed the field. That was fun. I thought I was gonna die because I was getting trampled left and right, but that's so fun. I actually have a friend on the football team. He transferred from Oklahoma State, not with me, but just a quarter after I did. So we've been here together now the whole year, and that's been really fun to like support him again in this new uniform of both of ours and just go to all the games.
Yeah, they're exciting team to watch. I'm rooting for Washington because there's a lot of teams I don't want to make the playoff, and I'd rather Washington make the playoff than
Yeah.
a lot of other teams. I really don't like Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama. I don't like any of those teams.
Yeah.
So I'd love for Washington to make it. I like Michael Penix Jr. a lot too. I think he's got a great story and the comeback from the injury. And I mean, he's just phenomenal. He's so good.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun to watch and like exciting for a fan.
Yeah, no, and he's a great guy as well, and it's nice because like last year the pack, so let's just like kind of go out with a bang. So I hope we do get in the top 4 and then give it a run. But it'd be cool for the last year of pack.
Yeah, definitely. It would be. Is that talked about at all? on the softball team? Is that a conversation across the athletic department? Do people discuss that, or is it kind of just like, whatever?
Mm, it hasn't really. It was discussed a lot when we first got here, and it was very big for everybody. We talked about it a good bit, but now we don't really talk about it or think about it. But I don't really think about it because I'm not affected by it, which kind
Right.
of wish I was because we're going to the Big Ten. The Big Ten is way closer to my home, so it have been way nicer than the Pac, but it's all right. But I'm like happy to be a part of the last Pac season there ever will be, but it's not really talked about anymore.
Yeah, it'll be cool for all the Pac-12 athletes to be a part of that final season, and a
Mhm.
lot of certain people are going to get to play in the final football game, the final basketball game, and that'll be really cool for those athletes. It's going to be weird without the Pac-12. It's just, I don't know, college sports are going to look a lot different, and it'll take a little while to get used to.
Yeah, it will for sure be weird.
So here's a couple of non-sports related questions. If you could live in any country in the world, where would you live?
See, I was looking at that question really hard when you put the thing in. I was like, I have no clue. I don't know.
There's nowhere in the world you're like, boy, I wish I could just like live there. I mean, not forever, just maybe like a year.
Yeah, you're right. I would really just like to go to Europe in general for like a year.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, probably just like Italy for a year. I don't know. I've
Yeah.
never been out of the US, so maybe just like Italy for a year.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, especially if you didn't have to work and you could just like travel and like experience the culture and like eat food and go to
Yeah.
beaches and roam and whatever. Like,
Um, yeah,
yeah,
probably there because it's so easy to travel like around once you're there. So probably just there
right.
and just kind of branch off wherever.
Once you're in Europe, I mean, taking the train somewhere is just like going to a different state. Like it's
Hmm.
people just do it and it's pretty
Yeah.
cheap. And yeah, that's the one good thing about Europe. Like if you're gonna go make a trip, you can hit a bunch of places in one go.
Yeah.
Do you have any bizarre talents? Some people have just like things that they're kind of weird that they're good at.
No, I actually
Nothing.
don't. No, I don't have any great talents. I know. I was like, everyone, I get that question a lot just randomly, like, oh, like, what's something like a talent? I don't really have any.
Come on, everybody's got something.
I don't think so.
I mean, it could be something like super weird. Like, there's probably some people like who could. I, I don't know. There's just like weird things people have. Being good at cartwheels, or like, I don't know, people who are really good at music or movie trivia, or like I have every element of the periodic table memorized off the top of my head, or like could like say pi to so far. Like I don't know. I feel like some of those are kind of just like weird talents that some people are really good at things.
Mm, no, I'm not very good at that stuff. It's definitely doesn't have to do with numbers or a periodic table. Could never do that. I don't
What about
know.
softball? Is there anything cool you can like? I can do this with a softball. I bet nobody else can do it, or like not many other people can do this. Like I don't know what it is, but
No, I mean it's like to hit fungo, which is just like ground ball, something I can't do it left-handed, and I'm a lefty, so I have to do things right-handed. I mean, I guess I like in other sports, I write right-handed and I throw right-handed, but in other sports, I'm predominantly left-handed. I prefer to do everything left-handed or left-footed, something like
hmm,
that. I guess that's kind of weird. Yeah.
yeah, it is weird. And are you good when you do it left-handed?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not bad. My dad was the
See,
same way. I think I got it from him.
there's the talent right there.
Yeah,
Left-handed sports when you're right-handed writer and everything. There you go.
yeah,
That's your bizarre talent.
yeah. It is.
What about hobbies? What do you like to do for fun in life?
Lately, I've became a reader. I never read ever, but now I've been reading a lot more recently just to like kind of escape from social media and stuff. So I write. I mean, I read and I write things. I just journal, do whatever, and then uh, that's about it. I listen to a lot of music and just drive. I'll do really long drives, but that's about it.
What do you read? Rom-coms, murder mysteries,
Like
like
rom-coms.
drama. Yeah,
Yeah.
light and fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice escape, something like a Hallmark channel in a book.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty
You need that
much.
in life, especially in
Yeah.
college with like athletics and school and everything. Like you need just like an
Yeah. I need a
escape,
little bit
something,
of an escape.
yeah, something that's just silly and like meaningless.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all the movies I watch. I only really watch rom-com. Something less stressful to watch. So
Yeah, something that's bubbly and happy. And I mean, if you're gonna like take some time out of your busy schedule, might as well do something that'll give you a smile and not like, oh, I'm freaking out because I'm watching this horror movie or like this thriller or something. Like, don't
yeah.
need to add that extra stress.
No. And then I guess well, I recently just bought a Switch. So I've been playing my Switch a lot. I've been playing like Fortnite and like random games on there. So that's been pretty fun to play, but yeah, I just bought that last week. So now I'm like addicted to that, I guess.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
bought a Switch a couple weeks ago too, but I only have Mario Kart right now. That's all I have.
Yeah, I don't have that yet. I just don't like that the games are so expensive. And so I like get
They
like
are.
one
Yeah.
like every couple of weeks, but like I'll get one like every couple of weeks. So we'll see.
Yeah. I bought it with the Mario Kart bundle. So it
Mm,
came with it. Otherwise, yeah, that's the only game I have for the same reason. I was looking at it like they're $60, $70. I'm like, I just
yeah.
can't do
I'm like,
that.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted I think it was NBA 2K24 or whatever. I was like, it's like 60 or $70. Like, that's just ridiculous. I
I know.
can't do.
I wanted the show and it was like
Yeah.
$55 and I was like, maybe in a little bit. Like I can't do that right now.
Yeah, I looked at that too. I was like, yeah, this would be pretty sweet, but no, gotta pass on with the price.
Hmm.
Black Friday deal. Gotta look for a Black Friday deal.
Yeah.
So you said you like music. What kind of music do you like?
Pretty much I'm a big country girl. So it's like country and like R&B pretty much. That's about it.
What kind of country? Who's your favorite?
Like Luke Combs, it's a lot. And then I don't know why I'm gonna blank. Brett Young. I love Brett Young. So probably those two are the ones I listen to the most. And then like Morgan Wallen falls in there, of course. But yeah.
That probably fit good down at Oklahoma State country, but is that
Yeah.
big up in Washington?
No. 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 I went to a country concert last year. Zach Brown band played here and I
Oh
wore my
yeah,
cowboy boots. And I don't think I saw one person in cowboy boots. And I was like, you guys know this is country music, right? Like you're
this
supposed
is
to
a
wear your
country
cowboy.
concert. What are you doing? You're wearing your
Yeah, like
Jordans? Like what is this?
I'm like, wear your cowboy boots. In Oklahoma, people wear those to class. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's just regular everyday wear when you're in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
People wear those to church. They wear them to the doctors, whatever.
And in the Midwest, it's just what they do. And here, it's like, no, they're not. They don't even own them.
No, do you wear your cowboy boots just out and about for fun?
It depends. Like, if they go with a cute outfit or something, I'll wear them for fun. Back home, we have like these country concerts every Thursday in the summer, and so I'll wear them like every Thursday to go out or whatever. But I don't really wear them too much. Usually for special occasions, but I wear them a good bit throughout the year.
Yeah, one of the few up in Washington that's wearing
Hmm.
cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Well, it's not surprising. I mean, way up in Washington, that doesn't surprise me. There's a lack of country music being listened
Yeah.
to. Anyone else on the team big country, or are you kind of the only one?
There's a few Midwest girls, so there's like a couple of us that are big country girls, but other than that, there's none.
Yeah. What's the like pre-game playlist? Is it rap and R&B and pop?
Yeah, pretty much rap. Whatever me and my dad used to listen to as a kid. So basically, whatever he made me listen to is what I'll listen to throwback stuff, kind of. But yeah, usually the rap, hardcore, and then if I like really need to calm, if I'm too high to start the day in general, then I'll just listen to country music. But
Yeah. Hey, whatever works.
mhm.
Well, perfect. Avery, thanks for coming on the podcast. I enjoyed it and had a good time. So good luck with this season when it gets going. Hopefully you can make it 4 for 4. Be
Yeah,
rooting
let's go.
for Washington Husky softball this year. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.